Welcome back to the show. I'm Kaylee, your host for today, and we're shining a spotlight on a character who often slips under the radar, Nick Carraway. He's quiet, he's observant, and he's often presented as the only honest man in a world of corruption. But who is Nick really, and how does he shape and maybe even damage the world he claims he's simply watching? He introduces himself by insisting he's inclined to reserve all judgments and that he's one of the few honest people he's ever known. But those claims start falling apart almost immediately. Throughout the novel, Nick quietly passes judgment on everyone around him. He's disgusted with Tom's arrogance. He criticizes Daisy's carelessness. He thinks Jordan Baker is dishonest, and he's deeply conflicted about Gatsby. Captivated by his hope, but skeptical of his methods. Nick wants us to see him as neutral, but his inner commentary exposes that neutrality as an illusion. He observes, he judges, and he never fully separates himself from the corruption he claims to watch from a safe space. Nick isn't just a storyteller, he's an active participant. One of the clearest examples is Gatsby and Daisy's reunion. Gatsby is terrified, Daisy is fragile. The stakes couldn't be higher, and Nick knows this. Yet he invites Daisy over, he sets the stage, he arranges the flowers, literally and emotionally preparing the room for a dangerous fantasy to come alive. Nick's decision becomes a spark that ignites everything. The affair, Tom's escalating jealousy, Daisy's emotional confusion, and the chain of events leading to the tragedy. Nick isn't just watching the dream unfold, he's helping to build it, even though he senses it can't survive reality. Nick is present for every major conflict in the story, but what stands out most is what he doesn't do. When Daisy kills Myrtle in Gatsby's car, Nick knows everything. He knows Daisy was wrong. He knows Gatsby is taking the blame. He knows Tom is twisting the story to provoke George Wilson. Nick watches Tom and Daisy retreat into their protective shell of wealth and privilege. He sees them conspiring, choosing comfort over responsibility. And he says nothing. He does nothing. This silence is one of Nick's defining traits. He witnesses corruption up close, yet refuses to disrupt it, challenge it, or expose it. And that silence directly contributes to Gatsby's death. After Gatsby dies, Nick becomes the only person who understands the full truth, but instead of fighting for justice or even holding Daisy accountable, he simply withdraws. He arranges the funeral alone, he grows disillusioned with New York, and he leaves. Nick frames this exit as a kind of moral awakening, but the truth is more complicated. Yes, Nick sees the broken American dream, but he also quietly allows it to break. Nick Carraway isn't just the narrator, he's the lens shaping our perception of every character, every event, every moral judgment. He's charmingly self-aware, yet blind to his own flaws. He wants to be moral without taking moral action. He desires truth, but rarely speaks it. Ultimately, Nick is the man who watches the American dream crumble, helps build parts of it, says nothing when it collapses, and then quietly walks away. Nick doesn't kill the American dream with violence or hatred. He kills it softly through silence, inaction, and selective honesty. He proves that sometimes the most dangerous character isn't the one who acts recklessly, but the one who watches and refuses it to act all. In our finale, the next episode, we will see everybody's episodes come together. In our next episode, we're going to be finishing up this series and discussing finally who killed the American dream and how every character may or may not have led to it. Once again, I'm your host, Kaylee, and we'll see you next time.